Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Byproducts New Horizons. How are you guys doing today? How's life? If you guys remember last episode, we were working towards getting a workstation which is an EV tier circuit, and that will help us to get to the EVH as well as making a few multi-block structures. We did not have the blue alloy ingot, which I got, but I'm still working on getting the parts we need in order to make the different types of processors. Also, I really want to make them in bulk, at least half a stack of them, because that will allow me to make 8 multi-block structures, which I really need, desperately. But that is the whole point. In order to make a workstation, you need 2 processor assemblies, and in order to make 1 processor assembly, you are going to need 2 integrated processors, and that is a lot of resources. So far, where do we stand? I only have 1 stack of these guys, 3 more stacks to go. But in the meantime, we have a very urgent problem. Miners. I have relocated our miners in the overworld, and in this tunnel we have 4 of them. What do you think we got? Iron. Also iron, soapstone and talc, and more iron. Out of the 12 veins that I have excavated in the overworld, 8 of them were iron. People are going to tell you that these are different types of iron and they are going to give you more byproducts, and they are very correct. But the main stupid byproduct is always oxygen. I don't want oxygen, I want other stuff. I want rubies in order to get chrome, I need metals in order to make capacitors, and most importantly, I really want mica. And here is the reason why. Different material inside an electronic blast furnace require different temperatures in order to get processed. What determines that temperature? The stupid coil. The coil that we are using at this very moment can handle up to 1800 Kelvin, but we need better ones. For example, energetic alloy is something that we need in very large quantities, but you might notice that the heat capacity is 2200. So me cannot process it, and that is bad. Also, there is no way in the world that we can go to the EVH without having better coils, so we need to find mica. Digging a hole inside the ground in order to prospect for ores is caveman's technology. We have electronic prospectors from HVH. We're gonna use that. If you look at the NEI, it has 79 pages, each page has 2 recipes, and each recipe determines the durability. I did not go through all of that, so we're going to make it out of vanadium steel. That seems to have a decent durability, so I'm okay with it. Ladies and gentlemen, our first scanner. The good one. It has a durability of almost 14,000 and it can scan a 5x5 chunk. Not that bad. The question is, do you need power? I don't know. Well, we can actually scan here and test it. Ew. I don't want any of them. But that consumes a lot of durability. And it's expensive. Well, it's not hyper expensive. Maybe we need 3 or 4 of them until we get to the LUVH and get the good one. So basically what I'm saying is that this is manageable. Can you scan dirt? No. You jerk. Can you scan clay? Yes, thank you. Nothing of interest. That is something of interest. That is mica. We found it. Although I'm not really sure which one it is, but we are going to mine as much as we can. I will go get the miners. I said that I'm going to bring the miners and I'll be right back. That I'll be right back took me like 40 minutes, because I also had to go to the Twilight Forest, bring an extra one, and now we have 5 of them. And fun fact of the day, we literally prospected here and we found mica. This is iron. Again. There is one over there which is also iron, there is one more over there that is also iron, but this one which is way back over here seems to be mica, cause we're getting it. I don't really understand the ore generation in this mod pack, but I think 70% of all ores is just iron. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, I am also gathering a lot of granite because I realized if you pulverize red granite, you get uranium-238, and black granite gives you thorium. I have already found a little bit of thorium in the nether, but I think this is a good source for it. You know, until we manage to get the actual ore. I have to fix this. If it's not obvious, the main reason that I'm processing a disproportionate number of sodalite ore is that I'm using it in order to get chlorine. So far we have like, I don't know, 450 buckets or something, but as a byproduct it also gives us aluminium. Anyways, our first order of business is to try and make the Cantal coil block. That requires something called Cantal wire. The problem is if you want to make Cantal ingots inside the blast furnace, it's going to be hot, really hot. And although everybody says that GregTech is based on real life, you cannot drop it inside water to cool it down. You need either a cryogenic freezer or, I don't know, a vacuum freezer? Yes, this one. The cryogenic freezer is out of the question, but we should be able to make the vacuum freezer. but that one also requires a workstation. So yes, I wanted to keep everything until I can make half a stack, but I need a few of them urgently. If I have not messed anything up, we should have enough material in order to make 8 of these workstations. Also, at this very moment, I cannot afford SMD diodes, so I'm just using normal diodes. So all of you go in and give me a workstation. Yes, the first one. That is worth stacks and stacks of material. And it's not even useful on its own. You have to put it inside the multi-block structure, which also requires stacks and stacks of material. But we need 4 of them in order to complete the quest, so there you go. And that should unlock the vacuum freezer. Good. Oh, it's just aluminium. Really? So let me craft a few machines, and I'll be right back. Notice the pollution? It's amazing. I love destroying the world. But in any case, I'm still not done with all the blocks and material that we need in order to make the multi-block structures that I want, but we have an urgent need. We need to have the vacuum freezer now. Cause you know, I'm kind of working in the basement and I really prefer if my blast furnaces are working and I'm getting resources. I kind of noticed that in order to make a hot Cantal ingot, which we have to freeze later on, it's going to take 90 seconds. And that's a lot. Cause if you look at the recipe, we are going to need at least 16 coil blocks and each one of them is going to require a double wire. That's essentially 8 ingots per block and that's a lot of time. Although that was from the MV age, our blast furnaces are overclocked because all of them are working at HV, so that should be half the time. Still, it does not make sense to play inefficiently, so let us work. And just in case you're wondering, we are going to have 2 vacuum freezers, 1 distillation tower and 1 pyrolyze oven. Not forgetting charcoal, I want the creosote oil. We are also going to use the same setup that we have on our electronic blast furnaces in order to overclock our vacuum freezer, because in order to make vibrant alloy, we need 480 EU per tick. And unfortunately an HV energy hatch, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Or maybe it is, cause it's just sodium and potassium. It's okay, I have made 2 MV energy hatches, we're going to use them. I really hate this time of the day. So 2 MV energy hatches, the controller goes over here. As usual, we're going to have a maintenance hatch, output bus and input bus. And it's also a 3x3x3 hollow structure, so we should be good. I think. Are we? No. Also, I did mention that we are going to have 2 of them, but they are not going to share walls, because I don't like that, and aluminium is cheap. Although maybe we should start cooking the Cantal. You go inside and get cooked. Oh, you need circuit number 1. I'm carrying it. Good. Are you working? Oh, it takes 45 seconds. Good. But we need a few stacks. It has been a few hours later and I think finally we have enough Cantal. I think for 16 coils this should be enough. But as usual I have done a miscalculation and we have too many. Which is fine because later on we need to upgrade those guys as well. Basically what we have to do is that we take the hot Cantal ingot out and we put it inside the freezer. And obviously when it cools down, we get the actual ingot. Although one thing that I have overlooked is that there is a fair bit of process until we would be able to make the coils themselves. Because yes, although we have the Cantal, we have mica, it's not just mica. We need to make the sheets, which is from silicon dioxide, which is from asbestos dust, which is from rubber dust. And this is why I had to take some slimes, because we're out of rubber dust. I do not have an extractor. Aha. It's okay, we have all the components, so it should be fine. So you, my dear friend, you're going to give me slime balls. We shall centrifuge you to rubber dust. That's the wrong one. Oh, we extract the rubber dust. My bad. Yes, exactly. We mix you with mica and we get mica-based pulp. What the hell is a forming press? Well, it is something that we don't have, so we have to make it. Oh, that was a quest. Interesting. In that case, we shall forming press you with asbestos to get mica-based sheet. And of course, we should remember that we are doing it in a very advanced way. All the stupid machines look the same. Oh, you're the extractor. Okay. Look at the dusts in my inventory. This is mica. This is silicon dioxide. They look similar. I'm just saying. Anyhow, we take the sheet, we put the silicon dioxide, and hopefully that is going to give us mica insulator. Maybe? Did you? Oh yes, thank you. You might be thinking we're done. No, of course not. This is GregTech. We need a bending machine too. That gives us mica insulator foil. And this is molten redstone. We are going to void all the redstone. We put you back. Because we don't want redstone, we want molten copper. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to give us 1 coin. Maybe? Finally, we need 15 more, so this could take a while. We are halfway there, but while that is cooking, I can actually give you a very small tour of our base. Not this side, the other side of the base. Do you see these beautiful blocks? What do you think they are? They are a steam macerator. I know we are in the HV age and we're using caveman technologies, but these are awesome. Because here is the point, each one of these guys that you see over here are going to pulverize 8 items at the same time in 30 seconds. Instead of these guys, we used to have 10 macerators, but these are faster, cheaper, and much more efficient. Basically, these 2 multi-blocks are going to give us an ore every 2 seconds. That's great. But when I made this, I noticed that, okay, we are getting a lot of crushed ore. What do we do with it? I have made 2 hammers, because, well, they're incredibly fast. But then we're going to get a lot of impure dusts. What do we do with them? We have our array of furnaces. We just put them inside, and they will smelt into ingots. And of course, for some of the items, we still have our simple dust washer, which is amazing. And finally, my dream for the past 3 episodes, a sifter, which is basically useless. Well, it's not technically useless, but it does work with a few ores, and we don't really need them in very large quantities, but I just wanted to make it. As a very small demonstration, let us get some Terra shards. Oh, that gives you 4. Okay. We need to wash it, which is incredibly fast, and I love you. And then we put it inside the sifter, and that should give us a higher chance of getting raw material. We got 6, and a powder. Basically, this is amazing in order to get gems. That's it. Oh, and by the way, you guys already know that I hate looking at chests, so at first I thought I'm going to use the carpenter's safes from carpenter's block, because I thought if I put an aegon on top, it's gonna look amazing, right? The thing is, I actually forgot that this is a personal safe and you cannot hopper things out of it. It's basically like a personal ender chest without being endery. So I just left it there so that you don't make the same mistake. Instead, we are going to use ULV buffer chests because, well, they look nice. Kind of. But essentially, you guys already know how everything works. We have a chest, we are pulling the items inside the machine, we are processing them, and then we have an output chest. The problem is that this setup that we have over here is actually not very efficient because we are not getting any byproducts. We are basically just pulverizing, hammering, and smelting. The main reason that I made it is that sometimes I need to bulk process some of the ores, like iron and copper, which I have ridiculous amounts of. And I can't wait for this guy, because this is incredibly slow. And for those of you who are not very familiar with GregTech, is that if this was a normal mod pack, all of this setup, including that one which we have over there, was done in just like 2 blocks. A pulverizer from thermal expansion and a redstone furnace. That's it. But this is GregTech, nothing works like a normal human being, so you have to first macerate the ore, then you need to wash it, then you need to macerate it again, then you need to centrifuge it, and finally sometimes you need to thermal centrifuge it, or put it inside the sifter, or just melt it. That is probably enough talking. We have 16 of these. Good. Oh, that was a quest. Nice. Oh, there is another one for tungsten. I hate you. Well, it's not that bad. It's nickel and chrome. That's not a very bad ratio. We can do that. For today, these coils are going to be enough. Oh, this is painfully slow. And my wrench is going to break. Don't die on me, wrench. Please? You didn't. You're my hero. So here are the new coils. Do you need maintenance? No. Cool. And you have no idea how much quality of life improvement this is going to be, because now we can process vibrant alloy and energetic alloy. This mod pack is about GregTech, but you have no idea how much quality of life Ender IO is going to provide us. You're gonna work, right? No. Why? You need 2200. That is 2700. I don't know. We hit you with a mallet? Ah, you work. Cool. Well, that takes 80 seconds. And it does work with hydrogen. That's okay. Later on we can improve it. So now that we have access to alloys from Ender IO, what is the plan? Well, first off, we are going to need a soul binder. Oh, you're painfully slow. And you are going to be much slower when you run out of power. Nice. In hindsight, I should have put the capacitor bank on top of you. Some of you were suggesting that I should use GregTech in order to power these guys, but one thing that you should remember is that my Steam situation is way back over here, and my machines are over here. For the moment this will work, and I'm not going to complain. Are we good? Thank you. I have just collected 16 energetic alloy ingots, which is actually a quest, and we are going to get 16 capacitors. That is very good. And hopefully the Sword of the Cosmos. Basic wafer. Not that bad. Oh, also electric pumps. I didn't see that. Since you are a pain to make a few more. So energetic alloy is okay with the coils that we have, but vibrant alloy It's 3600 Kelvin. And it takes 5 minutes. Then ladies and gentlemen, nichrome it is. And I think we also need a higher temperature, yes, 2700 Kelvin in order to make the ingot. Okay, that's manageable. So I'll be right back in an hour. I just had a very small realization. In order to make a nichrome ingot, it takes 200 seconds. That is almost 3 minutes per ingot. I need 2 stacks. That's, I don't know, 5 hours or so. And since I have already spent more than 10 hours on this episode, I think what we're going to do is that we're not going to wait for that. We're going to have a smaller project. Actually, before making the roof, I should check how tall my distillation tower is going to be. And yes, we are going to have another multi-block structure, which is the distillation tower for processing fermented biomass so that we get methane. And also a bunch of other goodies, but we need methane in order to make go to hell, aka Teflon. So we have 7 outputs. The distillation tower should be 8 blocks high. This is going to be a temporary roof, but it's going to be 9 blocks high just in case. Wait a minute. Oh, this is high voltage because it's 180 EU. Oh, but it's fine, we are overclocking it by having 2 inputs, so it should be okay. We can go with MV, and I should never read when I'm outside. Ever. Okay, I was not expecting it to be this big, but apparently this is a distillation tower, so it should look like a tower. I think I made it 1 block too high because one of our outputs is solid, so we can have an output bus, and then we have 6 fluids. And, well, I have 7 fluid outputs, so one of them is extra. Or I think that is how it's going to work. We will see. So we shall have our fermenter and we shall have our brewery. Of course, all of them are going to require power. And for testing purposes, let us get some sugarcane. Later on, we are going to have an automated farm for sugarcane or basically any other crop. But for the moment, we have to do this manually. Just to see if everything works. So you go inside the brewery. Nothing happened. Brewing machine. Brewery. Is it different? It's not working and I don't know why. Advanced, you should have power. And this is sugarcane. Oh, you need water. Okay, my bad. Okay, we do have a question. How much water? 20 liters. Because the distillation tower is also going to give us water, but it's not going to be enough. Okay. I thought maybe we can make a closed loop, but apparently not. For the moment I'm lazy to craft it, so we're going to take you. You have water. You're making me biomass. Where's my wrench? Oh, it broke. I think we should also be able to make the electronic tools, but for the moment this will do. We want you to export to the left, only the fluid, that goes inside the fermenter. We're going to get fermented biomass, that is perfect. And you're going to go inside the distillation tower. Okay, you need maintenance, right? Yes. I also noticed that since we need to do a lot of maintenance, I should carry everything on me. We do some soldering, screwdriver, and for some reason, a hammer. You are good. We just have to provide you with power and hope for the best. And of course, soft mallet. Are you working? Oh, you are working. Okay. My biggest question is, are we getting methane? That is CO2? This is methane. So the height was actually okay. We are getting acetic acid, water, ethanol, methanol, ammonia, nice, CO2, tasty, and methane. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Therefore, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.